So here's some questions I'm going to answer for some of the followers. They were asking, how many days do I need to train? It seems to be a very common question. I would say the minimum is twice a week. Twice a week at first, and I try and build it up. In between that, try and do a day of general light exercise, mainly walking or walking up a steep hill or a light jog. It doesn't have to be a full-on hour and a half training session. This allows you to build it up, and it's a very good level to keep relatively fit. So I say minimum of 2 a week. You won't see great improvement. You see improvement at the beginning, but it's a reasonable level of fitness. It's not like a level of competitive fitness. Now, also depending on your age as well. If you're younger, I would say try to do three times a week. You can base this on like nearly every other day. But obviously it's a 7-day week, so it could obviously spread out a bit more. And if you're leading up to competition, you want to compete, I would definitely say you need to be training a minimum of 3 times a week. And depending on what area you're working on. If you're working on the grappling side of it, besides you need the physical strength, endurance, everything else, you need to do a conditioning day. Or the rest of the day, I believe you need to be working on the technical, rolling and sparring. Or in between, mix of two. Technical, then roll at the end to finish off with. That could start upping a game. It's not world-class level, but it's a good competitive level. So another common question is diet. What do I eat, or what do I do about building a good diet? Well, first thing of all is I would say stay away from everybody as soon as you start training. They jump on taking a protein, whey protein. You don't need it. You've probably got too much body fat anyway. What you need to do is start to work your way into it, build up, hydrate a lot, hell of a lot, because you can be perspiring, and make sure you've got electrolytes. Best thing to do is buy electrolyte powders, put it into your own drinks, water, whatever, everything you drink, and it allows you to replace natural body salts. Not table salt, body salts. On top of that, again guys, when it comes to dietary, make sure you've got enough carbohydrates. I do have a lot of pasta, but there's other means, couscous, you name it, for carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is what you're burning off the first 20 minutes of your workout. Beyond that, then you can start working for all of the areas of protein and so forth. But there are a mixture of people's opinion. But first and foremost, once you get to a reasonably good level, I think the most important thing is your carbohydrates loading. On top of that, then it's a protein and everything else. But you can spread it out. Remember, you have 2 to 3 meals a day minimum, so you can spread out what you have in each meal and work it around your workouts or your daily habits. Another question which I got again is about weight training. For myself, I've been doing it most of my life. Now, weight training, one of the things that I really don't like about weight training, when I go into a lot of gyms, you don't see people warming up. Okay, you can warm up with light weights, but I believe in gentle arm circles or cycling around in some sort of direction, clockwise, anti-clockwise, just moving around just to allow yourself to warm up and loosen off the joints. Especially if you've got an injury or you're tight from the day or 2 days before, there's more likely of injuries going to be caused if you're seized up a bit. Now, when it comes to weight training, what I like to do, especially building it up, you've got the natural, which is a body weight, which you can do press-up, squats and stuff like that off your own body weight, which is a nice way to fatigue, and you don't need to go anywhere, you don't need any facilities. Beyond that now, if you have got weights and you want to get that extreme, first of all, if it's for shape, I think you should be doing a lot of reps or pyramids. Rep wise, you might have a weight and just try and smash out as many as you can within a minute, and then as you get used to that, you can do 3 sets with a minute on, minute off. I'd say up the weight, you're going to burn out. Beyond that now, that could be just one day. You could do a pyramid the following day. When I do pyramids, I normally go 30, 25, 20 down, or jump down in 10, 10, 20, 30. And then on the last set, I do 3 sets of 10 on what I can really max out on what I know. Basically, if you're training, I know what my maximum is. My maximum weight I can lift for the 10 reps. And as it gets easier, I might put those 10 at the last one up a little bit more. So I can keep it on the same level with a 30, 20, and 10, or unless you're doing 5s increments. And then on the last one, smash it out. That gives you a little bit more explosive muscle, especially when you're fatigued. And it's safer because you've warmed up. The other day is strength wise. If you want to work strength, bulk and everything else, I think it should be maximum of 5. I think you shouldn't, a lot of people goes to 1s and 2s. I think minimum should be 3, especially if you're using it for sport. I tend to do pyramids. It was either twice a week or like a sort of rep sets, which is minute sets I used to call. I used to do it once a week, and then I used to do because that's the hardest one. Pyramids I like to do twice, and then the one I used to do is strength 1, increasing my explosive power. I used to do once a week just to see what I can really do. Remember, you got a 7-day week, and if you do 1 day where you just see your maximum strength, okay, on your bench, on your climbs, again your biceps and so forth, it's a good tester. A lot of things for muscle growth. Again, it's nice to work on one muscle group, like rest for a day for growth, and then do it the following day. But for sport wise, it's not recommended. It's best to keep it as close to what you'd be working out. So I tend to work different muscle groups because that's the way I'm going to be training and fighting. Now, a very popular question about overtraining. This is part of a myth as well. Reason why that is, when I used to do training when I was years ago, back in the 80s, people said I was overtraining. And they used to go on about overtraining this, overtraining that, and without even researching or try it out yourself. A lot of times it takes a lot for you to overtrain. All it is that you ache, you might feel slight withdrawals, but it's not overtraining. Overtraining comes to the higher level when it's like you start to deplete any sort of the energy sources. This is where down the line. So I believe the human body will adapt to anything. Think about these guys that do a marathon a day, okay, for a week. Okay, their bodies are adjusting, adapting. Now that is where you're getting close to what they would call overtraining. But whatever you do, your body will accept it, get used to it. It might feel kind of bad. There's many things watching out injuries, but then the body will adapt. One thing I know 100%, I've never heard of anything different. The body will adapt to anything you're giving it. In that case, that means overtraining is a hard thing to do. As long as you're training hard, eating well, and resting well. The 3 works means is limitless, boundless. Okay, and that is my opinion. Let me know. Drop an opinion down the bottom. Let me know if you think any difference about that overtraining. On top of that, we've got weight training as well. What are your ideas on that? Let me know. And dietary, that changes because you can become intolerant to certain things over a period of time. So I find every 5 years or so you should be reappraise your dietary habit, see what makes you perform better. And also they've got new ideas, new things coming in all the time. And how many days a week you should train? I believe start off small and increase it to more and more as you go along. But I always believe you need a day rest. I try to train every day. Even on my day rest, I tend to go for walks. I stretch. So I'm technically doing 7 days a week, but I love my day off because it's my sort of like me day when I like to stretch a lot, move around and walk, and just taking the air and not so blast my body or push my body to its limits. So I hope you like the content I'm giving on this. Give me more questions. I wouldn't mind filling a day where I'm just answering questions generally. So I'm going to finish off here. Remember, the fountain youth is sweat. Work hard, sweat more, and stay young.